Hello students, welcome to our online classes. So far we completed 4 scenes from the play Tughlaq. In this class I am going to talk on scene number 5. So students, now you are well familiar with the development in the play. Since we started from scene number 1 till the 4th scene that we completed in the previous class, you have a complete and a clear picture about the various happenings, events, and political strategies adopted by the Sultan, that is Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Now you will come across the further development in the plot of the play Tughlaq, written by Girish Karnad. Now you see, as the curtain rises, a number of Amirs, Sayyids, Shihabuddin, Ratan Singh, and a few more citizens of Delhi are seen assembled in a house located in Delhi. All these people, that is Amirs, Sayyids, Shihabuddin, Ratan Singh, and a few more citizens of Delhi, assembled there in the house in order to discuss about the maladministration and the tyranny of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. As I told, all these are really very much worried about the state affairs. Actually, your Shihabuddin, who attended this meeting on the request of Ratan Singh, is one of the very confident persons of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. But even though he respected and accepted the invitation of Ratan Singh and joined this discussion, which was totally against his Sultan, that is Muhammad bin Tughlaq. When all the participants of the meeting started discussing about the tyranny of Sultan, the malpractices and the maladministration which was going on in the entire state of Delhi Sultanate, the Amirs, Sayyids, Ratan Singh and other citizens expressed their concern for the sake of the people of the Sultanate. And when they tried to convince Shihabuddin and expecting his support in this respect, first Shihabuddin declines to participate in the discussion. And he gave a reason that he is a foreigner and has nothing to do with the affairs in Delhi. Later on, the Amirs told him that in the climate of distrust, Shihabuddin is the only person who can be helpful to them and who has the ability to sort out the issue. In between, one of the Amirs asked Shihabuddin, now I quote a dialogue from the textbook. The Amir asked Shihabuddin, the Amir, why is he asking us to go to Daulatabad? Have you wondered about that? I tell you, what he wants to do actually. He wants to weaken the Amirs. You see, we are strong in Delhi. This is where we belong to. But Daulatabad is a Hindu city. And we will be helpless there. We shall have to lick his feet. Now, from this dialogue, you can understand the probabilities of the future, anticipation in the mind of the Amirs, and the kind of political strategy adopted by Muhammad bin Tughlaq to disarm the people, those who have become really very strong in Delhi. According to the Amirs, Shihab has a high opinion of the work done by Sultan. And that is expected also because Shihabuddin happens to be one of the very confident of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And that's why Shihabuddin is always taking the side of Sultan and appreciating the works done by him. He talks about the schools, roads, and hospitals built by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He talks about the use of money for the betterment of the people. He talks about different measures which were taken by Sultan in order to do some reforms in administration and politics. So whatever possible good things which are done by Muhammad bin Tughlaq are being enlisted by Shihabuddin. But as you know, the Sayyids and Amirs, they have a different approach towards Muhammad bin Tughlaq and his administration. One of the Sayyids tells the audience, including Shihabuddin, that the Sultan is anti-Islam, for he has exempted the Hindus from paying jizya tax. The Sultan says that the Hindus are the brothers of the Muslims, and he is trying to create equality among all the citizens of the Sultanate. So some of the Sayyids and Amirs have their own apprehensions about the administrative efforts or the reforms put in by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Shihabuddin also looks into the matter. He gets up in disgust and asserts that these people don't deserve even to kiss the hem of the Sultan's dress. It indicates that Shihabuddin has a very positive opinion about the acts or the activities and the reforms done by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. But all these people were trying to convince Shihabuddin so that they will win him and bring Shihabuddin on his side, which is against the Sultan. One of the old sheikhs who gets up from the corner and pleads Shihabuddin. He says, his name is Sheikh Shamsuddin, and this man says, on being asked why he is there, Shamsuddin tells him that he should have been in his mosque and should not have mixed up in the treacherous game of politics. As soon as Shihabuddin looked at Sheikh Shamsuddin, who is a man of religion, immediately Shihabuddin questioned him that you are not supposed to be here in the dirty game of politics. Your place is there in the holy place, that is the mosque. What are you doing here? But he replied that the tyranny of Sultan against the leaders of Islam has actually brought him there in this conspiracy or a kind of meeting against the Sultan. He also add on the information that Sheikh Haidri is in prison, Sheikh Hood is in exile, and Shihabuddin also replies that they were killed only because they dabbled in politics. See now, there is a question and a counter question. There is an explanation, immediately the response given. So a kind of debate was going on there among the people over there. But anyhow, they were trying to convince Shihabuddin that he should be on their side and he should take a stance against Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Sheikh Imamuddin was also killed. What was wrong with him actually? But again, Shihabuddin says that all these people, those who were killed, and you think that they are killed by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, they got involved in dirty politics and that's why they were punished. So no one can really question Muhammad bin Tughlaq or the Sultan for anything wrong. The Sheikh retorts that the day Imamuddin was supposed to speak in Delhi, the soldiers of Muhammad bin Tughlaq intentionally stopped all the people, those who were willing to attend the lecture. So the soldiers of Sultan visited everybody and everybody's door, and they informed that no one should really dare to come onto the street to listen to the Sheikh. So this was how all the scene was manipulated by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. On the one hand, he himself has organized the event and invited Imamuddin to speak against him. On the other hand, he himself stopped all the people of Delhi and he prohibited them from attending the meeting. So this way, all these things were manipulated by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and this is not really fair. So this was how the people, those who gathered over there, they were trying to pass on the real developments in the state to Shihabuddin. But as you know, since he was a confident person of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, it was not that easy to woo him. In fact, he also knew that it was really true that Sultan invited the whole of Delhi to listen to Sheikh Imamuddin. But on the other hand, he stopped the people to assemble there in the gathering. So this sort of political developments and the political handling of the situations was of course done by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and that was known to almost everybody, those who were the confidants of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And one of them is your Shihabuddin also. So Sheikh started talking against the king, Amirs, Ratan Singh. Almost everybody was trying to convince Shihabuddin that he should really take a stance against the Sultan. But you can assume that it was not that easy to do so. Now I will switch over to the another important development here in the same meeting. You have Ratan Singh. Ratan Singh can anyhow bear Shihabuddin and his attitude, but not for long. He got disappointed and irritated. Ratan Singh says that Shihabuddin's father is supposed to have killed Ratan Singh's father by treachery and usurped the kingdom. So I would like to quote here, "Come on, everyone knows about it. His father is supposed to have killed my father by treachery and usurped the kingdom. Shihab has not forgotten that. He wants to make up for it. That's why I am here as his adopted brother, and that's why he just can't stand the mention of treachery to Shihabuddin. Don't overdo it. You shall have to face it someday. After all, what did the Sultan do to Sheikh Imamuddin? He incites Shihabuddin, who agrees to act with the people." This particular dialogue, which is uttered by Ratan Singh, highlights on the character of Shihabuddin and his father in particular. Actually, Ratan Singh has no problem with Shihabuddin because Shihabuddin directly did no harm to Ratan Singh and his father. But Shihabuddin's father did some treachery, played some dirty politics against Ratan Singh's father and usurped the kingdom. And now Ratan Singh is nowhere. He lost his identity. So probably this sort of thing is also there in the mind of Ratan Singh. He suggests a plan of action to all of them, including Shihabuddin. What was that plan? He says that Sultan is very much fanatic about the prayer, and we will kill Sultan at the time of the prayer. As soon as this suggestion was made by Ratan Singh, the Amirs, Sayyids, Sheikhs, and most of the Muslim people assembled there in the meeting expressed their apprehension, and they said that it will not be that legible, reliable, and moral to kill Muhammad bin Tughlaq at the time of the prayer. Immediately, Ratan Singh adds on a few more things and says that what this Tughlaq has done, the Sultan killed his own father and the brothers, those who were also the claimants of this state, this kingdom. He killed them at the time of the prayer only. So the man who follows Islam but is least bothered about these things, then why do we have a moral dilemma? So, we will have a meeting there in the Darbar-e-Khas. All the Amirs and Sayyids will intentionally prolong the meeting till the afternoon prayer time. The prayer will be conducted as soon as the call by the muezzin will be given. and that will be the right time to attack Sultan, and we will get rid of him. We need only a few people, a few hundred people or soldiers, those who will be from our side. Ratan Singh says, I quote, next Tuesday, the Amirs will be seeing the Sultan for the Darbar-e-Khas. See that. You prolong the meeting till the prayer hour. Pray with him. You shall only need an extra couple of hundred soldiers outside the palace. The muezzin's call to prayer will be the signal of attack. So this was the conspiracy against Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Now almost everybody agreed that they will go with this plan. But in between, some Sayyids and Sheikhs opposed the time of the prayer and the time of the killing of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. They thought that since Ratan Singh is a Hindu, so does not know the meaning of the holy prayer. But Ratan Singh says that the Holy Quran holds that the tyrant does not deserve to be considered among the faithful. So he also intended that we need to really get convinced with the timing of this particular attempt of assassination of Tughlaq. We will go with some other timing. But Ratan Singh himself was so determined that any other time Tughlaq is surrounded by his confident security personnel, and whenever the prayer is going on, all his guards are armless. And when Sultan's guards are armless, that time only we can attack to Sultan and we can kill him in the very first attempt. So this was all ultimately decided that a meeting will be called in Darbar-e-Khas. Sayyid, Sheikhs and Amirs will intentionally prolong it till the afternoon prayer time, and the signal will be the muezzins call for the prayer. And once the security guards of the Sultan are totally disarmed in order to perform the prayer, the Sultan will be attacked, and of course the things will be in the right direction. I quote one more dialogue here. Does your Islam work only at prayer? You have persuaded me to do what I had sworn never to do. Your Holiness, I am sure the Lord will not mind an uninterrupted prayer. So this dialogue also conveys a lot to us, because all these people, those who are assembled in this particular meeting, which is against the Sultan, they are going to work out on the plan that anyhow they really want to get rid of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. The last comment in this respect I would like to make, that is the end of this scene. The whole development in the scene indicates that there is a revolt, a rebellion in the regime of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Religious leaders are not happy, politicians are not happy, Amirs, Sayyids, Sheikhs, Hindus, non-Hindus, Muslims. It seems that everybody is against Muhammad bin Tughlaq and the kind of reforms that he is doing. And that's the reason that they are planning to murder their own king in this kind of secret meeting which was convened by Ratan Singh and other Amirs and Sayyids, and the most important confidant of Sultan, that is Shihabuddin, also attended it. So the subsequent part, that is scene number 6, I will talk in the next class, and you will come to know how this plot of the play is really going ahead. Okay, so thank you very much for the patient listening. See you in the next class.